Virginia, here it comes. Get ready. Don't know what I'm talking about? Stick by and watch this episode of Guns and Gadgets. Hey everybody, welcome back to Guns and Gadgets, your premier source for Second Amendment news. I am your humble host, Jared, and we are going to talk about Virginia and what's going on and a new little wrinkle. But before we get into that, I want to thank the sponsor for today's news, that is Gun Zone Deals. Also used to be Gun Pro Deals. They're undergoing the name change. Just the name is changing. Everything else remains the same. Check them out. You can get that XM42 light flamethrower that I was playing with last week. You can also get the new Strybog. They have a lot of cool items that a lot of us prefer to play with. Check them out, gunzodeals.com. Let's get into Virginia. So if you remember, I've done a bunch of videos about Virginia. I'll have a playlist right above. But there was a specific bill that was delayed, and we have all been focusing our attention on, those of us who are watching these slime balls that are now the legislature in Virginia, and that was HB961. Now, HB961 is the assault weapon ban bill that looked to ban everything in Virginia. It would have banned assault weapons, what we know as semi-automatic rifles, suppressors, magazines over 10 rounds, a whole bunch of it. I've done a multitude of videos on it. They're in that playlist. Check it out if you don't know what I'm talking about. But if you're in Virginia and you don't know what HB 961 is, you got to start doing your homework right now, because it's time to act. Well, that was put off, luckily, when they were voting on everything. It was put off until 2021. It wasn't defeated. It was simply continued. Now, this all took place back in February, and if you're not aware, Governor Northam has ordered a special legislative session that will start on Tuesday, August 18th, just 2.5 weeks away. And while he is claiming that this special legislative session is going to focus on the budget related to the aftermath of the COVID-19 thing, there are a lot of people who are saying that this is when he will bring back HB 961. Now, in and around the time when they were discussing these anti-gun bills in early this year in Virginia, like most of the state came out and officially declared their municipalities, their counties, to be Second Amendment sanctuaries. And now is the time that these laws are starting to go into effect. Actually, they started at the beginning of this month. Now is the time to make sure that those people who are elected to represent you follow through with their promises. Specifically, there were some Democrats that voted against this bill. Really pissed off Northam and his cronies and their master, Michael Bloomberg. Don't forget, he bought all this action. And those people that should be called now to make sure that they again vote against this, because it's going to come up in August. Those are Senators Scott Surovell, Surovell, Cray Deeds, Chap Patterson, and John Edwards. Reach out to them if they are your state senators and let them know that when Northam tries to sneak this in a couple weeks in August, they should definitely follow up their vote with another no. Now, there are also some other things that Northam did not get in last legislative session that he was looking to reinstitute for this legislative session, and those could also be brought up in this special session in August. Maybe, maybe not, but the risk is there, so please, Virginia, prepare for it just in case. Start making noise now. Get a hold of your legislators. I'll have a link down below to find out who yours is and how to contact them. But these are some of the other things you need to be wary about, because they're lurking. The bills that would seek to repeal the reciprocity with 25 other states. Northam doesn't want that. Shut down indoor shooting ranges. Restrict outdoor shooting ranges. No open carry in vehicles. Proof of training just to purchase a firearm. How do you train with something you don't have yet? Riddle me that, Batman. The 10% tax on guns and ammunition. Certain misdemeanor convictions would make you prohibited. The gun ban on state and local governmental buildings. The gun ban on Capitol Square and the General Assembly. The prohibition for gun stores to employ anybody, even a janitor or a window washer, who is a prohibited person. There are a lot of things that they are trying to force again down the throat of Virginians that will come back next legislative session, but very well could come back in 3 weeks. Now, if you remember, I mean, like I said, I've done a lot of videos on this, but in February, I specifically mentioned Sheriff Jenkins of Culpeper County, Virginia. He made a declaration back then that if HB961 were to go through and become law, that he would consider deputizing everybody in his county to alleviate that infringement for the people in his county. And the sheriff is following through on that. In fact, 2 days ago, he put out a call where he is actively recruiting current and former law enforcement officers to be volunteer background investigators to screen potential deputy reserve applicants. Now, Sheriff Jenkins has said that he will not put a limit on the number of people that he will swear in and deputize as these reserve deputies, and said that so far the majority of people who are showing interest in this are looking to secure their right to keep the guns they have now. Now, he's currently not accepting applications for reserve deputy yet, so stand by. He is forming the infrastructure that is needed to start that process. Now, these reserve deputies, according to the sheriff, he said they'll volunteer hours every month throughout the year in service to this office or this community, and that can be a magnitude of things that they can do. They can have the right to possess and furnish their own weapons, be it an assault rifle or high-capacity magazine, and legally keep possessing those after the ban the legislature might choose to institute. So if the sheriff is taking action right now in July, then he also has credible information that this could kick off in earnest again at the August special session. Now, Sheriff Jenkins did clarify that reserve deputies would not enforce laws or act as enforcement officers. Obviously, you need to go to an academy for that. However, this sheriff is following true to his word, where he said he would deputize people in his county to allow them to keep their rights, because the tyranny that is going on in Virginia is well documented and absolutely insane. Now, the sponsor of HB 961 is Delegate Levine, and this guy's a coward, but this is a quote that he has recently added that should be in your mind as well in Virginia, showing some maybe future ramifications once this bill goes through. So he said it is that this bill 961 is designed primarily to prevent mass shootings. It doesn't take away anyone's current weapon. If you are sane and you're law-abiding, we might take your cop killer bullet away, we might take your bump stock away, but we're not going to take your weapon used for self-defense or hunting away. What exactly is the cop killer bullet? Kind of vague and up for interpretation, but they're going to take that away next, if you were paying attention. And one other closing comment by Sheriff Jenkins related to all this. He said that we said from the beginning we don't want to have to go down this road of swearing in thousands of citizens and doing this type of thing, but it is something that I have said I will carry out. And kudos to the sheriff. He's already started that process of starting that infrastructure, getting it ready to do background checks. So if you're in Virginia, specifically Culpeper County, there are a couple things you need to do. Get in touch with your legislators and support this sheriff who's out there looking to support the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, something that your current legislature, majority of them, know nothing about. All right, guys and gals, please pass this along. This information is imperative. The folks in Virginia need to, again, start lighting up the phone lines, going and visiting their legislators, calling them out for all of the claims that they've made since February, especially if they've said that we will be a Second Amendment sanctuary. I will not vote for anything like this. Politicians, how they are. Now is the time to call them on it, because HB 961, the assault weapon ban, that has a whole bunch of other stuff thrown into it, is only a couple weeks away. So my viewers, my team, my family, please pass this along to as many places that you watch videos, as many people as you know, especially if they're Virginians, Please thumbs up the video. We need everybody to see this, and YouTube will continue to try to stop it. So a thumbs up, a share, a comment, those all matter. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This is where you're going to get this information. Until we see each other again, ladies and gentlemen, be safe, stay vigilant, carry a weapon. Take care.